early on, you were doing poetry readings or readings at a cultural center in Seattle. Number one, how did that start for you? How did the interest in words in general start for you?
I was horrible at math, hated science, and I was good at writing. I was decent at writing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm an imagination. Creativity is my thing, and I really wanted to partake in hip hop culture, and I couldn't really break dance. I didn't want to DJ, and I was like, I'm gonna try rapping.
You didn't want to DJ.
I didn't want to DJ. I wanted to rap, and I'd always wanted to be on a stage. So, and I loved hip hop ever since I was a little kid. So it just kind of made sense that that's where I went. But in terms of the poetry stuff, you know, this is the late 90s, you know, when I'm 15 years old or something like that. And there wasn't computers. I mean, there were, but the way that people recorded music was you had to go to a studio. If you could afford any equipment, it was like a 4-track. It wasn't this readily available thing that if you own a computer, you could go for a couple $100, get software and record yourself. That technology hadn't existed yet. So because of that, studios were few and far between. Also, hip hop in Seattle in the late 90s was grunge music. It was very different. It was a very small scene. It was a couple hundred people versus, you know, it's very different now. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have a place to perform. You know, there was no venues. There was no people to fill the venues if we could book the venues. So what we did was we did poetry readings. And really what that was just a cappella raps. But, you know, those took place on Mondays, and a lot of people would get together, a lot of people being like 15, 20 people, and spit each other raps that they've been working on that week. And that was a place that we honed our skills on a stage. And I don't know if anybody out there is a performer, but it's a lot more challenging to perform in front of 15 people a cappella than it is for 20,000 people. It's a lot more intimate, and that got me to a place of performance where I felt comfortable and was able to then transition that into the stage. But it was an imperative part of my process.
Ryan, you started playing in bands.
I did.
And then eventually found your way to, you know, beats and producing and hip hop. What was that process like for you?
Oh man, I started playing guitar when I was 9 or 10. And got into metal and screamo, hardcore, things my parents loved. When I was, 13, 14, 15, somewhere around there. And then I moved. I moved from a smaller town called Spokane in eastern Washington to Seattle. So I moved right in the middle of high school. Mm-hmm. And that was a huge change. That was, going from a school that didn't really care about music to a school that was, known for their jazz program. Hip hop was huge. And it was also in a time period that I think my mind just opened up. I think that, when you're young, you're a bit more narrow-minded as to thinking that one particular genre or sound is the best and everything else sucks. And so I think I was like that a little bit with hard rock, and then completely switched over to, opening up to all genres. But I think I was very intrigued by production and got software and recorded a little guitar, started making beats, and it did that right around the time that I started shooting pictures as well, so right around 15.